Big Ten tournament is here. It officially starts on Wednesday, one of the later tournament beginnings. We're going to have previews and recaps of all of the games in the Big Ten tournament on the channel. Carter and I will be on all of those until my baby comes, and then Dion will backfill me whenever that happens. Could be any day now. So stay tuned for all of that. We also have this for all the other big conferences: Big 12, SEC, ACC, Big East, and exciting week. Best time of year. Anyways, I would like to, before the tournament begins, now that we have the bracket, go through and decide who's going to win every single game and see how much you and I agree on this card.
Let's do it.
Okay. Do you want to do it individually and I do it individually, or should we do it together?
I think we can do it together. I like us versus them.
Okay. I wish we had a coin flip for tie breaks.
I think we can get to it. Okay, you get to pull rank once. I get to pull rank once.
Yeah, but then I don't know because we always just pull rank with our teams. I feel like
I mean, we know how this is gonna go. I'll give in.
I'm gonna do an online coin flip app when needed. Okay. All right.
Okay.
But before we actually go game by game with the bracket, quick thoughts. Who are teams you're keeping an eye on in a good way and teams you're keeping an eye on in a bad way coming into this tournament?
Mm, I mean, teams I'm keeping an eye on in a good way. Probably, probably Maryland. I think is who I want to see. Like, I want to see how far they go, and then teams I'm keeping an eye on in a bad way. Actually, Illinois. Because I think a lot of people
Really?
are like feeling good about them and their 3 game win streak where Trey White's hitting threes. I'd just be interested to see if that like I could see them going out immediately.
As far as draw goes, I think Illinois and Wisconsin got kind of screwed. Wisconsin has to play an extra game just to get to UCLA, just to get to Michigan State.
Mm,
Whereas Illinois has to play an extra game just to get to Maryland, just to get to theoretically Purdue. So yeah, I don't love those spots. Having to win 4 games and 3 really tough games does not seem super beneficial to either of them. As far as teams positive, I have a few teams that I've circled that I think motivationally will want this couple I just mentioned. I do think, despite the tough draws, Wisconsin and Illinois will show up trying to win this tournament. Those are teams that have a little extra depth. Think about teams like Maryland and Purdue that only really play their 5 starters. Like, do they really want to win 4 games this week? I don't know. Michigan State's a tough one because, in theory, they shouldn't necessarily care all that much about this. They should care more about the NCAA tournament run that's upcoming. But there's some psychos that I think would probably relish in an opportunity to win the Big Ten tournament too. Um, and that would be, you talk about the wins record they tied Purdue for, 17 wins. Purdue didn't follow that up with a Big Ten tournament banner. So Michigan State could kind of send a shot at them and say, hey, we are the winningest team in Big Ten recent history. I think Indiana is definitely motivated to make a deep run. They've been playing great since Woodson. And my last one I would just shout out, I think Purdue may try and get this one.
think
Yeah, because I think looming over this is the fact that maybe they know there's not a huge deep March run coming, but this is a program that values Big Ten banners in a big way. And coming off their first regular season where they didn't win the title of the Braden Fletcher era, I could see them with the best guard, best big, arguably best X's and O's coach in the league making a serious run at this.
yeah. Also, you're gonna hate this. You're gonna have to sneakily watch out for Ohio State because I think they need to win games to make sure they're actually good.
Yeah, teams on the first day that need wins right now, Ohio State and Rutgers are the two. Everybody else is pretty much completely out of the NCAA tournament, but
Hmm.
in theory, Ohio State and Rutgers could kind of have the firepower to make a run.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go game by game. First game, Northwestern and Minnesota.
So I got both these teams. I kind of want Northwestern in this spot.
Yeah, I've been more impressed with Northwestern in the back half of the season by a lot. Just looking it up to see what these two teams did when they played. Northwestern just beat Minnesota at the barn by 12 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I like Northwestern.
All right, so Northwestern advances. Iowa and Ohio State, you're going the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Buckeyes. They need it.
Any chance we get like the random inspired? Because that's what Iowa just did to Nebraska, right? Nebraska needed it. Iowa
Hmm.
bounced them from the Big Ten tournament, and now it's like maybe this is Fran's last run.
Yeah. Also in Indy, didn't the last time they won it was in Indy?
They made it to the final, yeah, that one year in Indy.
I think they won it that year. You were in Indy.
Did they win it?
Yeah,
Wow.
with Bohan in that team.
Are you I to me, this feels like a Jake Diebler letdown spot.
Yeah, yeah.
Bruce
Like
Thornton and
like
Diebler
as
blow it
we just went through that whole like, oh yeah, Ohio State they need to stack up some wins and they lose the first day to Iowa.
to Diebler or to Fran and yeah, I let's go Iowa if you're good with
Okay.
that.
Yep, I'm
Okay,
good.
and then USC and Rutgers.
So I want as much as anything to not pick Rutgers in this box. That they're just not that great, but USC is bad.
Yeah, USC is completely dead. So
Yeah, Rutgers.
maybe Rutgers get some confidence too. I think
Yeah,
it will be one of those things. The general crowd will be rooting for Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey.
100%.
Yeah. All right. To the round of eight, starting with Indiana and Oregon. Or wait, no, this is. Sorry, it's all messed up now. There's technically 12 teams left in the field at this point, but this is the second round, round
Yeah,
before the quarterfinals.
yes, it's the 8-9 matchup.
Indiana, Oregon.
I got Indiana.
You believe it?
I believe it. I also thought that they had a really good chance to beat Oregon at Oregon, and they let that get away. Um, and I also thought that they thought they were jobbed a little bit in that game. So I think they're motivated. They're playing actually good basketball right now. Um, I think they get Oregon this time around.
In the state of Indiana, too.
Yep, it'll be a home game for them.
Yeah. Okay. I do wonder, how do you think the West Coast teams will fare in a week like this where they have to spend a week in Indiana? It's kind of
I think they're
interesting.
going to be terrible.
Yeah, I kind of do too. All right, so let's put in
I think
in
there's a world
through.
where none of the West Coast teams even pick up a win in this.
As a Michigan State fan, do you want Indiana again? One of the only three teams that got you.
Yes,
You definitively want them again.
I'm sick of this shit.
See, that's exactly what Michigan State needs to get up for this tournament is Indiana on a platter for them.
Please.
And if you get like if Trey Holloman and Fears and Akins get that in round one, I think y'all are gonna just be like, all right, we're here.
Yeah.
And if you
We're
get
like,
Oregon, I would feel the other way because Oregon kind of feels like they let one slip against you the first time.
very true. Very
Yeah.
good point.
All right. So Indiana advances to take on Michigan State. We got Northwestern and Wisconsin. I no hesitation. I'm going to take Wisconsin.
I'm gonna take Wisconsin as well.
All right. Wisconsin advances. We got Iowa and Illinois. Little quote unquote rivalry game here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Illinois. I think Illinois handled them pretty easily the first time.
Just comes down to like, does Iowa hit a bunch of threes? But yeah, Illinois was so decisively better than Iowa. I think you got to go Illinois. And
Yeah,
then Purdue, Rutgers. Purdue swept Rutgers, blowouts both games. I'm taking Purdue.
Purdue as well.
I said it. I think Purdue will be motivated as we do this. I also want to know Purdue got the best draw here by far.
Easily.
They're the two teams they're going to play in the first round. They went 3-0 against, average margin of victory by 22, and then they
Yeah,
get a lame duck Michigan team the next round. Like this
yeah,
is Purdue got the perfect draw to make a run here.
100%.
Into the quarterfinals, Indiana Michigan State rematch.
I got Michigan State.
You think it's a close game or no?
No, I don't.
Like run them off the floor, run it up, kiss the Big Ten logo.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like Michigan State. UCLA against Wisconsin.
I'm not.
I like the Badgers.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not scared at all. What happened? Well, they'll get Klesmit back, which I think will be big. I like Wisconsin.
They get Klesmit back. Wisconsin lost by 2 at Pauley Pavilion earlier this year, but the
Mm.
offense was humming. It worked well. They shot 50% from three. I think they're fine.
End of the season stuff doesn't deter you at all.
No, I think they were just caught sleepwalking, and they won't be sleepwalking for this. Wisconsin made a Big Ten title game appearance last year in this tournament. They get up for it. I see it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I do. I have the West Coast concerns that you have too with UCLA. And it's one of those, not always, but there are spots where I think it's better to be the team that's already played a game against the team that's
Mm.
been waiting for the quarterfinals game. I think
True. Yeah.
Wisconsin will benefit from that against UCLA.
I can see that. Yep.
Okay. To the next one, Illinois and Maryland. Great game.
That is a great game. I'm gonna go Maryland.
Maryland destroyed them in the regular season
Hmm.
in State Farm by
With no big
21.
T. With no big T, right? Yeah.
There was no big T, correct?
No big T. Not this same lineup. I'm gonna go Maryland though.
Just think
I
they're
think Maryland's a
better.
better team. Yeah, I think they're better.
Yeah, I agree. I just think if I'm Illinois, I'm pissed I got this draw because Maryland's one team I just don't feel all that good about. So
Yeah.
Queen can get out and guard the perimeter with Big T and kind of just neutralizes what they want to do.
Yeah.
So I'll take Maryland. All right, then you have Purdue, Michigan. I think Purdue will destroy Michigan.
I think Purdue will win.
Yeah. Okay. So to the semis, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Maryland, Purdue. This would be a fun semis at this point. Michigan State, Wisconsin was a great game the first time. Michigan State separated late at the Breslin Center. Who do you got?
Ah,
It's hard to pick against Michigan State in any one game.
it is hard to pick him, but also I think that Wisconsin did almost get Michigan State where they got zero from Tanji, but and they didn't hit any shots. I think that Wisconsin's also in a spot where they need wins more than Michigan State needs wins, seeding wise. I think Wisconsin gets Michigan State in the semis.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to do you a favor and pick Michigan State, and we're going to flip a coin. It's the first game that we've disagreed on this. Uh, I get what you're saying, and I think in general I wouldn't bet Michigan State to win this tournament because the odds aren't good enough. They're like plus 280 or something.
Uh,
But any individual game, like you line up Michigan State against Wisconsin, who's going to win? Now we're there. I can't pick Wisconsin, man. I just can't. I can't. I don't see it. There's only two teams I think in this tournament can get Michigan State. Wisconsin is one, Maryland is the other. But head to head, I'm still taking Michigan State. So do you want heads or tails?
Heads.
Thought you always pick tails. I just flipped and it is tails, which means I get it, which means Michigan State advances. That's a weird win for you. Michigan State in the final, they get either Maryland or Purdue. Who you got?
I think that Maryland wins that game.
I got Purdue.
Got Purdue.
I got Purdue. And I think Purdue's hoping to not see Michigan State in the final. But if they get anybody but Michigan State, Purdue's my pick to win this tournament.
It's a good pick. What's their odds? Do you know?
650.
Those are nice.
They're basically all of the middle of the pack teams are 650. Them, Wisconsin, Maryland, somebody else was similar. I think Illinois 750. But all
I
right,
like it.
heads or tails?
I'm gonna go heads.
It's heads. So you get Maryland into the final. Michigan State, Maryland round two. It came down to a full court heave the first time. Who you got?
Michigan State.
Interesting.
I'm I'm oversimplifying this a little bit, but I don't know if Michigan State's gonna lose to a team that's only five deep.
I think I agree with that.
I think that's how I feel about it. You need something else from somebody. Like we're not gonna let five guys do it.
Especially on day three of this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also Kevin Willard.
Yeah. I agree. I
Yeah.
think if you get Maryland or Purdue in the final on the final day of legs, I completely agree with you. Really, the dangerous spot for Michigan State is the Wisconsin game.
Yeah. For me, this is how I'm looking at this. If Michigan State makes it to the Big Ten title game,
Yeah.
they're winning against whoever's on the other side.
Yeah.
I just have doubts if they get there.
What's the team that would scare you most from the other side? It might be Illinois,
It
right?
might be Illinois. I think Illinois.
Because Maryland and Purdue's depth will kill them against Michigan
Yeah.
State in that
I think
spot.
Illinois, they got like the new lineup, great positional size.
But even
Want
that, if I'm you, I welcome another Illinois game. Like I'm like, yeah, check ball, let's go.
I mean that they have incentive to want to get back at us.
Yeah.
So
So does Michigan, but you want that matchup. Like,
I don't know if Michigan knows that they have incentive.
I think they know now.
Do they?
I think they know now. Yeah, but I'm good. Let's go Michigan State. To me, the one spot to be scared of for Michigan State is Wisconsin, UCLA.
Hmm.
Whichever one of those you get, because UCLA beat them, and Wisconsin's good enough to beat them. But if
Yeah.
you get through that and get to the title, I agree, it's Michigan State.
Is there any world where Michigan's in the Big Ten title game?
No,
None whatsoever.
Card, I don't think there's a world they win a game in this tournament. Zero chance.
Yeah, I mean, you already, but you beat Purdue once.
Yeah.
Sorry.